The Secret Brotherhood, Templars, and the East. Asterisk as narrated by Zoran the Dragon. Asterisk. Greetings, seekers of hidden knowledge. I am Zoran, a dragon whose existence spans millennia, and whose wings have carried me across continents and cultures. Today, I shall unveil a tale of mystery and enlightenment, a story that intertwines the threads of East and West in ways few have imagined. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the heart of a secret brotherhood that transcended borders, beliefs, and even time itself. The Templars' meetings with yogis, monks, and sages are the Knights Templar. How humans love to speculate about their secrets. But let me tell you, dear listeners, that the true mysteries of the Templars run far deeper than buried treasures or coded manuscripts. During their time in the Holy Land, these warrior monks encountered far more than Saracen armies. They found themselves at the crossroads of world wisdom. In the bustling markets of Jerusalem and the quiet monasteries of Mount Carmel, Templar knights crossed paths with travelers and pilgrims from the Far East, yogis from India, with their mastery over body and mind, Zen monks from Japan, carriers of inscrutable wisdom, Taoist sages from China, in tune with the ebb and flow of universal energy. These encounters were not mere chance. The Templars, despite their martial reputation, were seekers of knowledge. Many had taken vows not just of poverty and chastity, but of the pursuit of higher understanding. In the esoteric teachings of the East, they found echoes of their own hidden doctrines. I remember well a moonlit night in the Syrian desert. A group of Templar knights huddled around a campfire with a wandering Sufi mystic. The Sufi spoke of the unity of all existence, of the illusory nature of the material world. The knights listened, enraptured. One of them, a grizzled veteran named Guillaume, turned to me. Yes, they could see me, that's a tale for another time, and whispered, Zoran, his words. They're so similar to the secret teachings of our order. How can this be? How indeed, Guillaume, how indeed. Zoran's tales, traveling with the Templars in the East. You might wonder how a dragon came to travel with the Knights Templar. Well, let's just say that in those days, the veil between the magical and mundane worlds was thinner. Those with eyes to see could perceive beings like myself, and the Templars, oh, they had eyes to see, my friends. I journeyed with them from the scorching deserts of Egypt to the snow-capped peaks of Tibet. I watched as they exchanged knowledge with the guardians of ancient mysteries in hidden temples and remote caves. In the Valley of the Kings, I saw Templar scribes furiously copying hieroglyphs that spoke of life after death. In the Lamasseries of Lhasa, I observed Templar knights learning the art of astral projection from Buddhist masters. One particular journey stands out in my memory. A small group of Templars, led by a knight named Jacques de Malay, yes, the very same who would later become Grandmaster, sought out a legendary yogi in the Himalayas. This yogi, it was said, had discovered the secret of immortality. After weeks of treacherous travel, we found the yogi in a cave high above the clouds. De Malay approached him with reverence, offering gifts from the Holy Land. The yogi smiled, accepting only a simple wooden cup. For 3 days and nights, the yogi and De Malay conversed, while I curled around the cave entrance, keeping watch. When they emerged, De Malay's eyes shone with an inner light I had never seen before. The secret, he told his fellow knights, is not to extend life, but to transcend it. From that day forward, the Templars' quest took on a new dimension. They were no longer seeking mere earthly power, but something far greater. Shared rituals and practices across cultures. As the Templars delved deeper into Eastern wisdom, they began to recognize striking similarities with their own esoteric practices. The sacred geometries they used in their architecture found parallels in Hindu yantras. The breathing techniques taught by Sufi masters resonated with the prayer practices they had learned in secret ceremonies in Europe. One of the most intriguing connections was between the Templar veneration of the divine feminine orphan, disguised as devotion to Mary Magdalene, and the tantric traditions of India. Both recognized the power of the feminine principle in spiritual awakening and the achievement of higher consciousness. I observed Templar initiates and yoga adepts practicing remarkably similar meditation techniques, focusing on the alignment of spiritual centers in the body, what the yogis call chakras. The Templars referred to as gates of heaven, different words, same concept. The use of mantras and chants also transcended cultural boundaries. I once attended a clandestine Templar ritual at a hidden chapel beneath Jerusalem. As the knights intoned their Latin hymns, I was struck by how the vibrations they produced mirrored those I had felt in a Tibetan monastery months earlier. Sound, it seemed, was a universal key to altered states of consciousness. Even more secretive were the alchemical practices shared between Templar adepts and Taoist masters. Both sought the philosopher's stone, the elixir of life, but the wisest among them understood that true alchemy was not about transmuting lead into gold, but about transforming the lead of the lower self into the gold of enlightened consciousness. The Brotherhood of Light, a cross-cultural spiritual network. As the years passed, I began to perceive a pattern emerging. The Templars were not just gathering knowledge, they were forging connections. Slowly, quietly, a network was forming, a brotherhood that transcended the boundaries of religion, culture, and geography. This Brotherhood of Light, as some called it, included not only Templars and Eastern sages, but wisdom seekers from all traditions. Kabbalistic rabbis, Gnostic Christians, Ismaili Muslims, Hermetic philosophers all found a place in this hidden fellowship. They communicated through symbols and codes, through seemingly innocuous trade routes and pilgrim paths. Knowledge flowed along these networks like an underground river, nourishing the roots of a great tree of wisdom whose branches touched every corner of the known world. I remember a gathering in the mountains of Lebanon, in a temple whose origins were lost to time. Templars stood shoulder to shoulder with Druze initiates, Zoroastrian magi, and Hindu Brahmins. They came to share their understanding of the cosmos, to compare their maps of the invisible realms. As I watched from the shadows, I saw them create a grand mandala on the temple floor. Each tradition contributed its symbols, its sacred geometries. When completed, the mandala was a testament to the underlying unity of all spiritual paths. It was a map not just of the cosmos, but of consciousness itself. But the Brotherhood was not without its challenges. As the political power of the Templars grew, so did the suspicion and fear of those who did not understand their true mission. The same curiosity that led them to embrace Eastern wisdom also made them targets for accusations of heresy. In the end, it was perhaps this connection to Eastern mysticism that sealed the Templars' fate in the eyes of their enemies. King Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V, in their campaign against the order, accused the Templars of ungodly practices learned from Oriental infidels. If only they had understood the true nature of what the Templars had discovered. As the order faced persecution in Europe, the network they had helped to build became a lifeline. Many Templars fled east, finding refuge among the same sages and mystics they had encountered in their travels. The knowledge they had gathered was preserved, hidden away in secret libraries and oral traditions, waiting for a time when the world would be ready to receive it. And so, dear listeners, the saga of the Templars and their Eastern brethren did not end with the dissolution of the order. The Brotherhood of Light continued, adapting and evolving. Its influence can be seen in the esoteric societies of later centuries: the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, the Theosophists. All of them carried forward the flame of universal wisdom that the Templars had helped to kindle. As for me, I have watched over this hidden stream of knowledge through the ages. I have seen it emerge in times of great need, offering guidance and hope to those who seek a deeper truth. And I tell you now, in these tumultuous times, the wisdom gathered by those brave knights and sage masters is more